All right, so I do think the lighting's a little bit better when I'm not leaning in quite so close to the camera where I get washed out. I may have to readjust the white balance. Anyway, not that I'm particularly worried about how I look, as this is clearly evident by the fact that I'm wearing the same shirts I wore yesterday, and my hair is a mess. I didn't bother fixing it any. I've been so busy in my own head all day that I haven't really taken the chance to really worry about the details. I suppose I should take that a little more seriously, but it's not high on my priorities list. I mean, if I had the option, I would do this where my face is never on camera. But it's a little hard to talk about the ideas and things you're exploring and talk about yourself and like never be on camera. There are ways you can do it, and I try to do it with some of my other stuff. Like if I don't absolutely have to be on here, I wouldn't do it. But abstract concepts and creativity are difficult to do. Like you have to have something to show off, and I think that's a little bit harder to do without having a face. I don't know. There are probably ways I could have done this and stuck with my idea of not being the focus of it. I just didn't think of them before I started my channel, and now it's kind of too late. Yeah, so today I did a lot more brainstorming and planning for the next coming several months. I'm looking at what I'm doing for this channel in the oncoming I always say 2 months specifically, but sort of working my way towards more understanding of where I'm going past that 2 months. That's a little vague. Basically, what I've been looking at is like this is the book that I'm going to review, and this should go up tomorrow. What I'm hoping to try to do is I'd like to be able to set up my green screen temporarily behind me and get enough of the green space back there that I can then take this and a few other books for the next few months or ones that I've already read, lay them out in sort of like a tile pattern that'll cover an area big enough that I can use the green screen behind me to lay that as a background. That's a fair amount of work, but I'm going to give it a try in the next 24 hours. I'm going to try to get up early tomorrow, kickstart my day really early with my breathing exercises, exercise routine, and breakfast, some casual internet use before I start working for about 4 to 6 hours on this kind of stuff. And so what I'm hoping to do tomorrow is the book review, movie review, possibly 2 movie reviews. That's 3. I have some old files of some taste tests I did with a friend, and that might be 5 videos worth of content that I need to shoot, edit, and organize. Like some of it's already shot, some of it just needs to be organized, and some of it needs to be recorded and edited. And then once I've got that underway, I'm hoping to be able to do the tile background of books. And with the tile background of books, I also want to potentially do a tile background of movies and board games and some of the snack containers from the foods that I've tried, and just use them as backdrop for the categories that I'm doing. And then try to get into the pattern of making this green screen backdrop the regular backdrop for this. And then once I've got that organized, I'm hoping all the content that I do this week, between tomorrow and the 31st. I'm hoping to be able to get it all with a new intro, and I'm trying to work out what the best intro for that is. I was talking last night, and like sitting down and saying, like, welcome to Inspired Content, the show where I, or we, I'm not sure which one makes the most sense, but where we look at, and because it'll be book backdrops, I could do something along the lines. I'm still thinking about it. Like, I could do, like, each category just introduce that category, or I can say where we look at various kinds of content, react to them, review them, and then generate. I gotta figure out a way to phrase it right, but generate ideas for our own creations inspired by them. And then, say, and this week we're looking at cuckoo's egg, or however you want to say that. So, and then switch over to, I would normally do a recording of watching me do a read review, like a montage of me reading through a book, or clips of me reacting to the movie while I'm watching it. And then it would be a review, a rating, a review, and then I feel like it would be more fun if I had a way to call it another R. That is the creating prompts. Or at least an R sound. I could do something like for books, like writing prompts, and I don't know. I'll have to really think about that one, because there is a way to do it neatly, I think. I just got to figure out what it is. And then at the end of the video, do a thanks for thanks for joining me on this one. If you like some of the ideas and make a creation, let me know, and put some of my social media links in. Like, just trying to figure out like the right way to do the opener and the close on these videos. And I may be overbuilding the work on this for me here. I may just give a trial to a couple of different ways to do this, and I can't expect that I'll get it right once I actually just start doing it. But I do think like the Welcome to Inspired Content, this show where because I feel like at the end of each video, I want to prompt you guys with ideas of things that I'm going to be doing next. So like this one is the one I've already finished. Next month will be another book. So if I set it up, like if you're interested in what book we're reading next, here's the book so you can get it, read it, and get my input next time or whatever. And then I'm not going to say it that way, but you get the idea, where I want to kind of start putting it out there ahead of time, what books I'm looking at, what movies I'm looking at, what board games I'm going to be playing, and give people the chance to try them out too, and then see what my reactions and thoughts to them are. So that's sort of the way I want to go, and I think it just comes down to, like, I may have to just do it and figure out how to fiddle with it to make it a little bit better over time, and just like it's going to be better than what I'm doing right now, no matter what I do. Like my intros need work, and my outros need work, and I need to be able to do an end screen where I can say, if you're looking for more content on books and writing prompts, go to this link here. It'll lead you over to that category of my content. If you're looking at other content, and I think I think what I need to say in that case is something along the lines of, like, after books comes movies. So I'll have to say something like, if you're looking for more writing prompts, look at the link up top here. If you're looking, next week we'll be discussing this movie. If you're interested in more movie-related content, check the link down here. And for other categories of content, you can check out my channel or subscribe. And I think that's definitely a better way to do the ending. It feels weird to do that way because I don't talk that way to people. It's not something I'm used to saying to people. But I think it's sort of like when you're reading a book and the characters are talking and it's like just the sounds. Beten said. Like, as you read the book, you don't notice the they said, he said, she said as much. It just becomes part of your understanding of the flow of the story. And I feel like I'm shortchanging this channel by not including some of that flow of the channel into my endings and my beginnings. So I need to work on that. So that's sort of the plan. Is tomorrow I'm going to work on probably about 4 videos for this channel, 4 or 5 videos for this channel in the early part of the day. Work on my openings and my closings for them. Edit, set them up to be ready to be posted, and then I'm hoping to do that in like the first 2 to 3 hours of my work routine tomorrow, and then I need to get ahead of myself on editing videos for the Roving Jack channel. So I need to do, there's a part of what's holding me up on that is I need to edit the entire week of videos for South Carolina, I believe it is, and then contact them because they wanted to be able to just approve what I did. And if they don't approve, then I'll find somebody else in South Carolina to do the makerspace tours. I mean, it would suck to lose a whole tour that I did, but it's not that hard to do again. But they need the time to view them and approve them. I've still got North Carolina, which comes before them, to edit and post, but I want to be able to fully edit and send out those South Carolina videos before I post the North Carolina videos, so that there's like 2 weeks to get that all figured out before I post it. So yeah, that needs to be worked on, and I feel like a couple of other things I want to try to do in the meantime. So that's probably going to be 2 to 3 hours worth of video editing and work tomorrow too. So there's that. And then I want to do it so that when I do a makerspace tour for the weekdays, I have weekend content where like a tinkering project and a learning project. And so I'd like to be able to do something a little more like these, where I've done the painting live and that kind of thing. I don't know that I'll do them live, but I may record them and not edit them. I'm still debating some of that. Like if I end up doing something like learning to juggle on that channel, just because it's something I'm curious about trying to learn to do. And the learning process of something like that is fun and somewhat educational, I think. I know there are a couple channels where people try a new thing and learn a new skill that I'm very fond of. There's a Scotsman named, I keep wanting to call him Billy. It's Mike Boyd. And he did a few things like that. And I really enjoy his stuff. And so I am an avid, fan of learning new things. And so I periodically, I have a list of like 13 classes from Udemy that that I'm in the midst of exploring, and I paid for them, so I have access to them and I can learn them. But I also did some Skillshare classes. I used to do some Coursera classes, and you can watch videos from like MIT and other universities for free. Um, and there are a few other skills and tricks and hobbies and things that I want to dabble with and teach myself. A year and a half ago, I found in a thrift store for like $30. I found a violin, and I'm like, oh, I've thought about learning to do the fiddle or the violin, but like it always seemed like it was like an expensive hobby to get into and not going to be easy. And so I'm not going to spend $130 on a violin and a bow and a case and all that garbage to find out 3 months in that I just don't have the skills for it. But $30, I'll do $30. I can do that's an afternoon's part-time pay at a job at a thrift store or something like that. So like I can do that. I can shovel 2 driveways in winter when it's snowy, and I can make up enough to pay for that to do that. So that's fine. I can totally do that. So I got the violin, and now it's just sitting there. And I want to just, like, part of doing these live videos here is it's a low barrier of entry for me to get into regularly working on things. And so I think on the other channel, that has some of the same appeal for me. Like if I just show up, and maybe I'll do like the montages that I do for like book reading or movie watching, where I record the 20 hours that I put into reading a book, and then I just take that file, put it in my editor, go through the timeline of the video, and just clip, 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 and then just scrunch it all together into about a 10 to 15 second montage. And I mean, in the case of learning a skill, you want to do maybe a little bit longer to demonstrate, maybe like more, like individual clips oftentimes would be about a third of a second for reading a book, but for maybe juggling, do like a full second for 10 different phases of where I am in that process. And so I kind of want to do that for that channel. So that's 2 additional types of content. Like it's the learning videos and the tinkering videos. And like the tinkering video, I really need to pay attention to. There's a timeline coming up, and like Instructables does their periodic tutorials contests where I've done 2 of them now. I've done what was the first one? Oh, the pistachio cookies, and then I did the cheesecake filled donut holes dipped in dark chocolate and sprinkled with freeze-dried strawberry. So I did the 2 tutorials for those, entered them into competitions because the prizes for them are like $1,000 worth of kitchen equipment that would make working on some of my recipes so much easier. And they have categories of the 2 categories, like they have one coming up now that's due by April 1st. That's for like make the most impressive project you can think of, and the winner gets a laser cutter. And I'm like, I had a plan for that. I think my computer deleted it during one of its crashes, so I don't remember what the big project I was going to work on is. I've got about a week to do it. That's just not going to happen. But one of the other categories coming up on April 1st is paper projects. Make something out of paper. And I have made origami and card modeling and kirigami and all sorts of paper projects in the past that I'm actually really good at. It's all free. you just have to be like, you sign up for a free membership on Instructables. You create your Instructable uh, um, uh, tutorial. So you can take still photographs, and I think you can embed video too, if there's a requirement for it, or even GIFs, moving pictures. And then underneath of it, underneath each step, you can do a description of the step and how to do a thing. And so, like, if you go on Instructables and you look at the website, you can see examples of what some of those tutorials are like. And once you signed up for your free membership on Instructables and want to do that, you just create a tutorial on how to do a thing. There's no entry fee. There's no membership to the website fee. It's all free. And you go in and you build your tutorial, and then you enter it into contests. So, like, if you make something out of paper, you can enter the paper contest. And like, I'm a paper builder. I love working with paper modeling and stuff like that. And I can do a fair number of interesting things with it. I was actually thinking, like, it's possible, but it would be really hard for me to get the time together to do. The thing I was thinking of doing is building a scroll saw out of paper. Like, I could build a scroll saw that would actually cut through popsicle sticks. I would go get a blade from the hardware store, but everything else could be made out of paper. And once I do that, just a hand crank on the side, get that blade moving up and down, and you could put popsicle sticks right through there and cut them into individual planks to make scale models out of. I'm like, I could totally do that. That would be awesome. But it's also probably going to be about 34 to 36 hours worth of work to do that while documenting it and then compose it into an Instructable tutorial. And I don't know that I have the time to pull that off this week. And it's like, the due date is April 1st. So, like, I don't imagine that I'm going to win it anyway, but I still want to keep trying at them. But the prize for that is a computer. I would be happy to have a new computer and not this broken thing anymore. So that'd be kind of cool. Or no, actually, the paper one, I'm trying to remember. I need to go back and review. There are 3 contests that I'm looking at entering. Let's see, where are we? Instructables. One of them is Trash to Treasure, which is, if you've seen my channel, Roving Jack channel, that's definitely up my alley. I do that recreationally. Trash to Treasure is a $1,000 Amazon gift card as the first prize, and then I think decreasing valued cars for second and third place. Paper is, yeah, the Epilogue X contest is the laser cutter. The paper contest, which is due soon in 8 days, the prize for that is a DSLR camera, I believe, or very close to a DSLR camera, and a paper vinyl cutter. So I'm sort of like all over that. Like, what the suite of prizes on this one is like, it's definitely like, I have a use for any of that. So yeah, they have a judge's prize, best paper machine, one of those category. One winner will get a Canon EOS M6 EFM 15 to 45 millimeter IS STM kit. That's a lot of, I don't understand any of it. But the grand prize is a Canon EOS Rebel T71 digital camera, Silhouette Cameo 3 paper vinyl cutter, I think. And there's one of those. there are 3 first prize winners that get the Silhouette Cameo 3 kit, and then there's 5 second prizes that are uh, brush pens, watercolor paper, X-Acto knife kit, cutting mat, and then like there are 10 runner-up prizes that get an instructable prize packet, which is like a book, a mug, and something else. And so that's all the prizes for the paper one that comes up in 8 days. And like I could do with that paper vinyl cutter or one of the cameras or both, or you know, like that would be really kind of cool to have the chance to get those. And it doesn't cost me anything to enter the contest. And then there are about 8 or 9 contests currently running. So there's the Epilogue laser cutter one, and the laser is the first, like the grand prize for that. There are like 3 other ones. I think I can't remember what the other ones are for that one contest. There's the remix contest where you take somebody else's Instructable, make it and customize what you make and make it your own. And the prizes for that contest at multiple levels are 3D printers. There's a build a tool contest where like I could do that one too, but that ends on April 1st, and like I need to pick one and focus on it right now. But the Trash to Treasure contest is April 29th. That's a gift card to Amazon, depending on what level of winning you do in that contest. It's $1,000 to I think $250. And then there's there's the pocket-sized contest, which is make a project that fits in a pocket, and the grand prize for that one is it's a smartphone, which would definitely be an upgrade on this thing. And then there's the tape contest, which is using tape in a project, and I think that's the one that's the laptop. That's an April 29th contest too, I believe. So that's April 29th. Yep, and that is a grand prize for that is a MacBook Air. So like that would be something I could use to replace my broken computer. And let's see, we've got there's a pie contest on the 29th too. And like I've made pies. I have a few ideas for pies that I would love to try out and make. But the grand prize for that is a $500 Amazon gift card. And I could potentially use that to buy a laptop, yeah. But it's just like, I think at the same time, like there's the Trash to Treasure and the tape and the pocket-sized contest. Like the pie is lower on my list. They also have a weaving challenge and a organization, so like closet organizers or whatever. And so like they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They have 10 up now, but half of them are going away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them are disappearing in 8 days. But we should, I imagine, in 8 days, they're pretty good at keeping at least 8 contests running at any given time. And so, like, I'm pretty sure we'll get some replacement contests that drop in the middle of April. And it's, I mean, I've gotten into the habit of enjoying doing that. Yeah, they have them every month. There should be at least 4, I think. I think they've had a few slow months where they've had like 3 for the month that you're in. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, I'm like, every opportunity, I'm going to enter some of those competitions. I think it would be fun at some point to do, see if I could do all of the contests currently running, do an entry for them, and see if I could do that for a month or more. But that's not in the books right now, and it's not going to be in the books when I'm traveling. So that would have to be fall or winter the coming year. But right now, like during this week, I want to try to do like the paper one, because the paper one has the potential of getting me a vastly improved camera. Like right now, the camera you actually gave me is the best thing I've got going right now. The one I got from a family member a while back is this one, and it'll get 780p video recording on it, and I've used that mainly for the makerspace tours. It's starting to bog down and not work as cleanly, and so that's getting a little difficult to use. But I've got a couple other thrift store cameras that go as high as 720p resolution, and so like I have some potential for doing that, but it would be nice to get. I mean, they look like they're DSLR cameras. I don't know those particular models. We have something like that at our makerspace, and I believe they have changeable lenses, and they do get 1080p or even some cases 4K video. And like just getting one of those cameras would be amazing. But the grand prize on that paper competition of the camera plus the vinyl paper cutter, like I could do a lot of interesting things with that. And so I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to see if I can win that. I know my chances of being the winner on that are small, but that's okay. Like I'm going to get better as I keep doing these contests. Eventually, there's a chance that I will win one. But yeah, so that's something I need to do. And if I'm going to be doing a tinkering video between my makerspace tour videos, I should probably do a tinkering video for the channel too. So I've got like 2 or 3 tinkering projects to do this week, 1 learning project. I've got a week. I've got 2 weeks of makerspace tour videos to edit, and I've got 6 videos for this channel to edit that are going to be the maybe 7. I can do the book, movie, board game, product or service, taste test, art. I could pull out my music because I did art last time I did a month of content, and then video game, and then I may start, like April 1st would be the start of the health and well-being category pulling in again, and then I kind of want to do, when I get to April, I want my content to be uploaded as Tuesday, Thursday each week. And so 4 weeks, two edited videos per week would be 8 video, and that would get me all 8 of those categories of content, and that should be good. And then the daily live videos like this are going to be, again, writing a book. And that's sort of one of the other things I was doing today was sort of planning out ahead of time. Because like the big problem that hit me with trying to make the animated video was not knowing what I was going to do the first day I started. Then the second day having to figure out a way to do something different because that wasn't going to work. And then the third day figuring out something different because that wasn't going to work. It was like the week was half over before I figured out what I was going to do. And then it just became more and more complicated. So instead of doing it that way, I think what I'm going to do is start out with like this coming month, the live content is going to be a book, a video, a card game, and a product or service. I want to say service, but I can't even imagine what service I would do. But like the book is going to be fiction, and it happens to line up really well because I'm a member of National Novel Writing Month. Every November, we try to write from the first of the month to the end of the month, try to write a 50,000 word novel in the month of November. I've been fairly successful at that when I've participated during each year. But we also have what's called it's NaNoWriMo is the abbreviated form of it, National Novel Writing Month. So NaNoWriMo does a thing this coming month of April, that's called writing camp or something like that, where it's essentially doing it again during this season instead of November, but it's a little less a little less serious and a little more people just trying to get together to do a little more writing this time of year. And so for April, it's writing month, and so I can participate with thousands of other people around the world who are working on writing projects during April. And so, yeah, I'll have fun doing that. So a fiction writing project starts on April 1st, I believe. And then the subsequent week, I think April 1st is a Monday. Now, the fiction won't be written in a week. It's not going to be as easy as the nonfiction was to do. So that's going to be like, I'll finish writing on the last day of April. But like, as far as editing it, that'll take more time. So the 1st through to the 7th is going to be writing week. And then the 8th through to the 14th is going to be creative video week. And then the 15th through the 21st is create a card game week. And then the 22nd through to the 28th is going to be the product or service. Now, I'm not sure what kind of card game I'm going to do yet, and I'll try to think about that over the next few days. I'm not sure what story I'm going to write yet, and I need to figure that over the next few days. I'm not going to do any of this figure it out the day you start, because then I lose days. But with the product and service, I don't know what I'm going to do for that. I don't know yet what I'm going to do for the card game. The movie, I'm not sure yet, but I have some ideas. I have like 2 or 3 ideas that I want to play with. They're going to be live action videos, because that's so much easier to do. Just get a couple friends together, get your outfits figured out, find a place where you can record, and then you just do it. But I mean, I have a couple ideas for that. The card game, I'll have to go looking through my ideas for game designs and see which ones appeal to me, maybe. And I'll have to look through my list of stories that I'm going to work on to figure out if there's a good one that I think I'm aiming not for a full 50,000 words in April. Because I was actually I was crunching through the numbers on some classic books. Let's see. I don't have that file open right now. But I was looking at some numbers, and like, I think it's like even the first Harry Potter book isn't 50,000 words. I don't think. And like Fahrenheit 451 I think it is, by Ray Bradbury. I believe that one is actually, it was dead on at 50,000 words in its original draft. And like, I'm trying to remember, like Treasure Island is like 30,000 words or something like that. There are 3 or 4 of the older, what are considered classic literature books that these days would be more considered a novella. I think the cutoff point for a novel is supposedly somewhere around 50,000 words. I swear I had that document open earlier today. That's memory. Is that the one I'm looking for? Maybe. No, that doesn't look quite right. No, not that one. All right, so that's not it either. I have so many things open right now. It's so much going on right now. Yeah, I don't have that file open right now. I must have closed it the other day. Anyway, yeah, they're like, I did some research a while back to see like what's considered a short story, like flash fiction, short story. I think there's even like a shorter one. There's like a vignette where it's literally like a paragraph. And then there's the flash fiction, which is usually like a page. And then there's short stories. And I think novellas come next. Then novels. And then like epic novels or epic sagas. And like, I think the epic are like 100,000 words. And the novels start at 50,000 words, go up. And I think under that is novella. So novella is 50,000 words or under. So, and flash fiction, I think, sort of gets up to, flash fiction, I think, is like 3,000 words max. That seems like a lot. It might even just be 1,000 words. And short stories are like 3,000 words to the bottom end of novella, which I want to say is like 25,000 words to 30,000 words. But yeah, so I did a little number crunching on that one to figure out, like, I will probably end up doing what would be technically called a novella. And it'll probably be science fiction or fantasy. Maybe horror. I did build a list a little while ago about horror stories, sort of trying to figure out like a sort of formula to work with. And so I may do that. And then, so that's pretty much like the things I'm working on in April. So it's the fiction, a live action video, a card game, a product or service that I could sell. And then next month in May, well, I guess it's next month. We still got a little time left in March. In May, we're looking at doing the food-related content, the music, which is something I don't have a lot of experience with, but I want to dabble with. So creating songs, and then another video game style week. And then health and well-being category. And at that point, I think the health and well-being content starting, I will have to probably look into starting, I will start one early April. And that's like, I'm starting with my usual exercise routine and usual diet routine, and talk about them live. But I'm also going to do edited, like condensed versions of like I feel like that's important to do as the review and rate content. So that I have to figure out where I'm going to make that fit into the schedule. I mean, my schedule is actually best designed to be done in sets of 8. I just don't know if I'm going to do that at the start of a month or at the end of a month, or like if I do the live content stuff about it, like I don't know what I'm going to create in that sense. But reviewing some of the existing programs out there, yes. So I got to think about that a little bit. I don't know that I need to do much for the live stuff, except for like if I do this coming April, I do the full month's worth of content, so all 8 categories, and that includes the health and well-being at the end of the month. Then that's going to be more of a edited clips from the month of doing it. At the end of the month, I can do a live discussion of that content and get more into the details of the experience of it. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. Anyway, so that's sort of where I've been doing today, is early stages of plotting out the next 2 months of content for this channel and the other stuff I'm working on. And I did some figuring out of that new stuff that I was working on for the Opportunity Forge channel, where I'm building out a list of the weekly experiments to do. And I've got a list now that should be able to get me, let's see, I've got, oh, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I have about 54 weeks worth of content that I can do. And that's a year. So I've got that worked out for the weekly challenges. The daily episodes, I need to build a list on for each of the categories for each different type of day, and do a list of like what I'm going to do for those for a while. And then like the early morning, the 3M mornings were motivation, meditation, and mindfulness. And that's sort of like I can build a list of what I'm going to do in those categories. And once I've really got enough that it's just a matter of shooting and posting, then I'll post that. I'll start posting on that channel. But yeah, so that's sort of where I am right now. I gotta try to make some things happen. I've got a friend of mine contacted a bunch of people and invited them to come do a game night. And so I got that coming up on the 7th. So I have to plan to not be accessible for that night. So any projects that I'm working on, I hope to finish off before that. And I might be late that night for a live video update. But and got to finish that contest entry, the multiple contest entries by the end of April. I feel like I'm forgetting something. And it's going to hit me the moment where I suddenly like, oh, I need to be working on this project. Oh, God, I forgot about that. I'm just going to go scrambling like mad to fix whatever I failed. It's going to disrupt my entire schedule. But, yeah, I got to figure out like a way to, like, I need to do a planner. I need to build a planner or an organized schedule. I'm thinking if I get my Patreon website up and running, that it might be kind of fun to have like this, like the Opportunity Forge channel, where I've got everything planned out for like a year. It's not necessarily planned out that I can't move things around. It's just I've got all the things that I know I will need to fill the time between now and when I'm done. So that doesn't make any sense. All the things I'll need between starting and a year later. They can be arranged in any order, and I do think I want to rearrange some of them because some of them make sense next to each other. And some definitely are like prerequisites to later versions of something I'm doing. But for this channel, I sort of have an inventory of the games, movies, books, and music. It's like, but it's not an organized or actually even written down list. I just know that like I can go into my storage unit and I have 5 bookshelves full of books. And I can just go in there and pick ones out at random and decide like this is the one that I'm going to do this month. But I feel like if I start a Patreon account and offer people the ability to pick and choose which one I do next, you know, that can be a little bit more fun participation. So, and I could do that for books, board games, movies. I could maybe do it for products and services. And if people want to give me recipes that they want me to try, I could do that. So recipes, product and service. Like I've got music. So I've got the music. The product and services and recipes people can recommend to me. The trick with product and services is like when we were talking about last night is I'm cheap. So if somebody's going to, try this $400, no, no. If you pay me $400 to try that, then I'll do that. But yeah, so and then video games, like the try and play, like I could build a list of the emulator games that I could play on a Raspberry Pi arcade system, and people could vote on those. So yeah, I mean, like half of that content is pretty easily like votable. Which ones do you want me to do, kind of thing. And I think I could post the big list of all of them on there. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a fun and engaging way to do that. Like, vote which one you want to be done next month. But, like, do it a month and a half in advance. Because, like, I want to be able to say at the end of this month's book, say, and next month's book will be, and if you want to vote, and there you go. I can add that to my ending. Like, I can say, and if you want to vote on which books out of the list I have, or want to add a book to the list, head on over to my Patreon. And yeah, that's not bad. I can do that. Or if you want to propose a book or you want to add a book to the list, I feel like I want to do leave a comment below kind of thing, because I don't want people to have to pay to recommend a book. But yeah, so there's that. I feel like with the Roving Jack channel, I have to sort of figure out if I want to do something similar for, you want me to learn a new thing, or there's a project you want to work on. But I've got enough of the projects that I want to do on that channel in my brain, like that I've got a year's worth of projects, and they're sort of sequential. Some of them lead to others. And so I kind of don't want to do that there. The things that I'm learning, I could potentially put some of that up for a vote. But that's going to depend more on where I'm at and what I'm interested in doing at that time and what's accessible to me. Like if I'm traveling, I'm not going to have the chance to do some of that. So, yeah, I think that's that for the two main channels and where I am on working my way through the plan for the side channel for this one. I'm not even ready to start figuring out what I'm going to do for my side channel for the Roving Jack channel yet. I think there's enough on my plate already for the next 4 or 5 months that I'm going to take it easy and just work on what I got. Yeah, but all right, so tomorrow I should have a little bit more concrete sense of where I'm going specifically for the content for this channel, and I should have uploaded at least the book and have edited and be prepared to upload movie, board game, taste tests, and a product review. And that should get me all the way ready to really buckle into some hard work for Tuesday and Wednesday. And by the end of the week, I'm really, really hopeful by the end of the week that I'll have I've gotten enough of that stuff squared away that I'll already have a head start on the edited content on both my channels for most of April. And it gives me enough leeway that during the early part of April, I can get ahead of even maybe all the way out to June. That would be really nice, because I've got to go heading out to another makerspace in sometime in early to mid-April. I think we've got Easter at the time too. Got to figure out what's going on when. Got to plan accordingly, because it's such a busy time right now. Oh yeah, I got to go find my sister and my niece. I got their birthday gifts because they didn't show up to the family gathering. I got to get that taken care of too. My brain. Yeah, it's a little bit easier when I get started at the beginning of the day. Get up, get a little exercise, eat something, get a good shower, start banging away and get some stuff done. All right, so I will see you tomorrow and hopefully be very optimistic about how much I had achieved during the course of the day. All right, take care. All right, so my brain.